Scarborough-based Daniel Wilson set up Wilson Retail in 2005 and has just opened his 16th one-stop store, having joined the operation from Nisa in 2015.
And what are your future plans for the business?
At the moment, we're studying one of the stores that's going to open early July, and we're moving our current store, which is over the road, which is a 800 square foot site, moving into this store that's nearly 2,000 square foot. So we're moving that and changing that. We're also then using the site over the road that currently is the One Stop. We're going to change that into Creams franchise. We already have one of them in Scarborough, so that'll be our second, and that's the plans for there for next year. And obviously to get this store finished, it's come quite a long way on, and shelving and other bits of refrigeration still to go in and sort, but get all this and then get that store moved over and give this area a really fresh, modernised, larger store.
Do you think you'll have a finite number of stores in London?
Well, we've got plans for this move. We've got another store we're opening in Bridlington as well, and that's going to open early July. So we're looking at about 4th of July for that store, which we're taking over and buying from Spark and Booze. It was a select convenience, so there's that store that's going to happen. There's another 3 stores that we have in the pipeline. One's a total new build that'll be obviously quite a while because that's not quite started yet. Then we've got another store that's actually an empty unit that was previously a Sainsbury's local that we're taking over, that's agreed to deal on, and then there's another site that's sort of in the process of a purchase at the moment. So we've got them ones planned, but for a set number of stores, no, not really. I mean, we just look at areas that we're in that we feel that we can run the store successfully, and then sites that we believe will work. But I think going forward, I think we'll certainly end up doing probably more than them 4, but we're probably capable of doubling maybe the estate, but again, it's what stores we find, and it'll certainly take a long time. We want the growth to be manageable so that the stores are successful and that the people and the whole business keeps up with that growth.
How are you coping with rising costs, and what efficiencies have you introduced in the business in recent months?
Well, obviously electric's rising, sort of minimum wages rose and wages are rising up, so that's something we have to bear in mind. With electric, we're fortunate that quite a few of the shops are on sort of longer term contracts, so a lot of them haven't hit us yet. Wages obviously is something that keeps going up. There is a bit of inflation in the market, so that will dilute probably some of them costs, but most of our stores run, I'd like to think, fairly efficiently anyway, so we try and be tight with sort of staff hours so the shops can run well and successful, but that we are keeping costs under control, and where we can do, we put in economical fridges. We've put in some Daikin motors that run the fridges, air conditioning, so it lowers energy costs already. Even before the recent price rises, we were doing these things. So we're looking at things like that, and we are putting a self-service till in this site, which will be our first one going in at Promenade here, and obviously that will probably drive efficiencies where staff can have some more time filling up rather than just serving so much. So all the time we're looking at ways we can evolve it, run the stores better, efficiently, make obviously more sales, more profit, as well as making them great for the communities they're in.
And how has One Stop supported you on your journey, and does that differ from the other symbol groups you work with?
Yeah, One Stop have been great for us. Originally, back in 2005, we did start off with Premier. We had our original store was with Premier, and obviously it was a long time ago, but we changed to Nisa then to look to sort of modernise and sort of what delivered wholesale then, and we were moving on to 2 stores. We changed to Nisa and we ran with them until 2015, and we were successful with Nisa, and they were good for us at points, and obviously it was a big choice to choose to move to One Stop, but since we moved to One Stop, they've been great with us. One Stop compared to working with sort of Nisa and sort of Premier is much more of a partnership rather than just sort of someone who supplies you. They co-invest in the stores, which helps us open new stores, helps us refit, because we've also, as well as opening new stores, refitted most of our stores. That helps us, that pays towards that. But also the support we get, the controls, the systems we get are what we were always looking for really when we were running 9 stores originally in Nisa. We spend a lot of time trying to run stores and trying to create our own systems with One Stop. A lot of them are already there for us, so that support's great. They're great to work with. I feel One Stop runs similar sort of stores to us. They look at stores that are efficient, that are well, they trade them well, they make them efficient, they make them functional. They probably aren't the most glamorous stores, the convenience stores, and probably won't win so many awards, but I think that's what we look at as well. Good, efficient stores, good value stores, and we try and run them in a similar way. So I think One Stop model suits us perfectly in the areas that we trade, so we're very happy with them.
What do you think has been your biggest learning curve as a multi-site retailer?
The big learning curves. I think going from 1 to 2 is one of the biggest challenges. You suddenly go from being able to do pretty much everything in the stores to relying on staff and managers that you put in to start doing these things for you. And the difficulty is sort of giving other people control. Sometimes you feel you can do it better yourself, and you can do it quicker at first, but you gradually learn over time. You've got to empower people, train them, show them and support them, and let them sort of learn to do things, and put more trust in people. And once you start doing that with the right people, you find that actually they may get beyond your capabilities, and suddenly you can run multiple stores because you've got people who want to do things the same way as you do. They understand what wants to be done, and I think that's the biggest probably learning curve is really that understanding that you've got to allow people to take on more roles, and as we grow, we're always able to lose sort of more control of things we do ourselves. But it doesn't have to be a negative; it can be a positive. We get the right people doing that.
Thank you.
Thanks.